Hello, everyone. How are you? It's officially 6:04 a.m. here in Americant, and this is Eastern Standard Time. So, I'm live. I'm gonna give it a second and let some people check on in. Good day to the king. This is good morning, buddy. Good morning, buddy. The early bird catches the worm. Whatever is stuffed in that worm is the question. But we make our day. We are in creativity mode right now. So the mode that we're all in right now is manifestation mode. Whatever you're putting your hands to do are going to prosper. Just be mindful of the people that are in your circle. Make sure that they're on the same frequency as you. When you make sure that people are on the same frequency as you, that will save you a whole lot of unnecessariness. Now, be careful, of course, at all times, especially now, especially during these times, because you don't know what people's motives are. People can tell you one thing and do something completely opposite. Peace, everyone. We're live, so I'm giving everyone a chance to check on in. Quick announcement: I have so many platforms that are set up for each and every one of you throughout these times, here and now, on our website at newmeals.net, where I am a personal chef, a personal fully raw food chef on top of that, where my food is medicine and it's anointed. And during these times, medicine and how you eat is everything. And of course, this comes coupled with the mentality of how to eat to live. But in order to know how to eat to live and how to change your diet, you first must change your mindset. And you must understand why every time you go to the doctor always asks you, is there cancer that runs in your family? Is there any diabetes that run in your family? Any ailments that run in your family from your mom or your dad's side? Let us know. That's because of all those old same passed down recipes that are causing you to have the same ailments as your parents had to deal with. So, right now during these times, what God has placed it in my spirit to do was not only be able to put so many of you through our Venus High Priestess Classic Coaching, or our VIP Executive Classic Coaching, is where we go into showing your own autonomy, showing you how to change your life, showing you how to claim your birthright. Not only showing you how to claim your birthright, showing you how to fix your credit, clean your credit, establish yourself, your family, your foundation, set up trusts, set up estates, set up power of attorneys, put everyone in its proper position to properly be able to run an empire. This is where we are right now, where empires are being ran, but it's going to be based off of your own autonomy. What is your own personal talent, skills, abilities? If you do not put your own personal talent, skills, ability into play right now, and what you were born during this time of existence to do, then someone else is going to hire you to help them live out their dream. Through our Venus High Priestess Classic Coaching, we not only show you how to get down with family, generational curses, clearing those up, birthright, bloodline, dealing with yourself, as well as any extended siblings or children that you may or may not have, as well as any relationships that you're currently in or broken relationships that you have come out of, whether that's a loved one or an intimate partner of the present and or the past. Also, we are in a position to help you literally establish yourself in business, and not just business in your local country. I do help you set up international foreign business as well, to where you will be thriving during these times, as well as show you how to eat to live and show you how your health is truly your wealth. Y'all want to get down? God has truly gifted me, not only with gifts and tools and equipment, but if any of y'all know my track record and my history and you followed me from the Jakia Fort story, then you will know that I, your girl, moi, and they probably won't talk about it more until after I'm long gone, but it's all good. But your girl is known throughout history here in the world of going down with the Anti-Defamation League for pointing out to all of the indigenous people, the natives of America, for pointing out to them how to claim their birthright through land that was left through them, their forefathers that fought in the war here in America, that were not given any form of money. They were granted land. So, of course, they defamed my character, threw me under the bus, shamed my family, buried my kids alive in a sandbox. That's a whole nother story with the Jakia Fort story. But to whom much is given, much is required, and with great power comes great responsibility. They just didn't know that God sent me. They just didn't know that I was on a 40-day water fast before God gave me a dream to go into Montana to be able to establish the Jakia Fort story, to learn the tools and the equipment that I need for these times. That was in 2010, 2009. So here we are in 2022, where God has placed all of my talent, skills, abilities, everything into one big estate package to help myself run my own family empire, as well as show each and every one of you tools that God has shown me to help myself do clarity of, clearance of, to help me claim my family birthright, to help me walk my specific rites of passage. Now, God has given me the release to show each and every one of you. So if you're looking at my website and you're like, man, these prices is too high, that's because of your mindset. Many people, matter of fact, every single person who has taken my class, I don't care, you name it. There are so many testimonies. There's not one person who's taken from my smallest classes to my major classes who is not right now owning their own business and highly successful. And our track record speaks for itself. So that was a introductional disclaimer. But either way it goes, that's not a disclaimer. That's a my claimer. How about that? Because I'm not dissing my claim. What I'm saying to each and every one of you is that right about now, people got to put their money where their mouth is at. And ain't nobody got time to be investing in nothing and don't see no proof in their pudding. And nobody got time to be investing their money into grounds, into organizations, into people who are not anointed, who are not established on fertile grounds. Even people who have just merely donated into my specific ministry, lives have changed, are thriving right now. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. And my job is to focus on making sure that I work with your guides and you work with my guides as they work with each other with one common goal to help us all get into the kingdom of heaven, as well as help ourselves be able to thrive throughout these times. Help us to be able to be the true empire builders of this time. During the time of our ancestors, y'all got to keep in mind, during the Great Depression, there were many thriving people. There are many successful people. As a matter of fact, during the times of slavery, there were people who were black people who owned black slaves. And many of you may get offended of that, but they had to own black slaves because the reason our own people had to purchase slavery of our own people was to preserve them and to keep them out of the hands of those who wanted to hurt, harm, and injure them or abuse them. So what has been transpiring with each and every one of us throughout these times, with all that being said, is a situation as such. An establishment is being set here, now. And it's as such as the three little pigs. What foundation are you building your house on? What foundation have you built your house on? Because the incoming storms and the more incoming tornadoes and storms and hurricanes and situations, physically, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally throughout life, are going to try you even now and are going to try you even more in the coming days ahead. But the truth of the matter is, what are you doing with what you have, your own personal talents, your own personal skills? Are you letting fear cause you to look back? And that's what God is revealing right now. So many people God has pulled you out of situations. You've been praying and praying and praying. Like, God, please, if I promise you get me out of this, I'll never do it again. If you help me through this, then, I'm going to take care of this and take care of that. And you completely forgot all about that. And now you're complaining about something else, and you open your mouth to complain. And what that does is that automatically opens up doors for negativity. Speaking of doorways, so many of you have not even closed the doors to the past, to where even if you want to move ahead right now, you can't, because you left so many doors open just in case. There was a reason that you left those portals in the first place. If you left those portals but you still left one foot in the door, this is what's absolutely happening. So many people are running, looking for ways to get out of their situation, or running from their past, or looking for opportunities to go into a new life. But you're looking for those opportunities going into a new life, and you're complaining about where you're at now. But truth be told, you're not settled spiritually, physically, mentally, and emotionally, because no matter where you go, you're going to find a problem no matter where you go, because technically you're not healed. So that means that anyone that you run to, whether it safe, let's take the remnant, for example. If you're in a place where you're like, look, I changed my life. I want to change my life. I want to do better. I want to be a better person. You could have all the right motives, have that within your heart, truly want to do it with all of your heart. You can jump ship, leave your entire life, walk away from your entire past. But even though you may verbally say it with your mouth, what you're trying to do, and you may have good intentions, your heart is being exposed right now. Everybody's heart is being exposed right now. And if you are around any of God's remnant, any of God's people, then it's just like you being in front of God, literally. Because like I always explain to each and every one of you, it's like being at a doctor's office where the doctor can see straight through the x-ray film. So all of a sudden, you'll find yourself in this place where you're facing the mirror. And that mirror is a reflection of you. So you may feel like the person that you're with or you're around is the problem or an issue. But truth be told, let's keep it real. Every single place that you have come from thus far, you have ran. You have ran. You have not closed doors properly. You have not fixed things properly. Many of you property. You have not verbally clarified what your purpose is, how you're moving forward, whether it was friends, family, or foe. You did so many people wrong. You left so many people high and dry, but yet you have yet to point the finger back at yourself. So many of you out there want to blame others for situations and things that have been happening in your life, but you keep running from what? Responsibilities. When you run from responsibilities like that, eventually you're going to keep running and running and running until finally you're going to face a wall to where now you can't run anymore. And when you say that you are getting in a space to want to do right, you want to fix up any old karma, you want to clear out any karmic debts, you want to do it right this time. To whom much is given, much is required, and with great power comes with great responsibility. And right now, to sign up to be a soldier for the kingdom of heaven is actually easier than signing up to be a soldier for the army of some sort, because God's in a place right now to where he's revealing people's hearts. He's revealing their true motives. So even if someone comes around you and they say that they love you, but they don't really love you, not only will you feel it, you will see it, you will know it. And their actions will not be able to align with their words because their heart has ill will intentions. And so many of you are holding the doors open to the past so much that you are dealing with your own inner personal trauma and pain, that when you run to new environments, those are the ones that you're closest to the most, and you blame those specific people around you, when truth be told, you have to still look at the 9 fingers that are pointed back at you. Now, another side of that is this, and I want each and every one of you to pay very close attention to what I'm saying to you here, okay? Because this is very vital, especially during these times. Okay, so now, we are coming up on the energies of another moon cycle. It is written, God says, that I hate your moon worships, your idol worships. So many of you have idol worships, or you worship people or stars or celebrities or your shoes or your job or material wealth or material gains of this world, to where you're the ones being tested right now. You're the ones being tested to see if you're, are you not, hold on. I don't know what this thing, okay, there we go. Are you in a place where you're not allowing the trials to help you be a better person? But when the trials and the tests come, it begins to open up your heart and reveal to you who you truly are. So now here it is, when you're seeking out after God and you're crying out to God, God begins to reveal your heart. And although you may not see your heart, others around you see you. So what many of you are doing is you are feeling the nudity of your own autonomy being exposed during this time, because all spirits are exposed right now. Every single person on this planet, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you put yourself out there to be an Instagram model and you look such and such a way, people can come straight in your energy field. I don't care who they are, especially if they're a spiritual person, they can see straight through you. So with that happening right now, so many people are knowing that they are truly dealing with God's people, God's elect. And what they are doing is they're running from God's people. They're running from God's remnant as if they are running from God himself. But what's happening here is God is allowing the people that are running, the people who are being exposed, he's allowing them to have an opportunity to face that pain, face their past, stop running, deal with the situation at hand. Because truth be told, there is nowhere else to run at this point. If you run back to your past, it's an illusion. Those doors are closed. It's a setup. Of course, the Satan is going to make it look so beautiful and so grand to make you want to come back that way. But trust me, it's only temporary. When you get there, you will have many regrets, especially if God opened up a door for you for a new life, for a new way. And so many of you open up the doors for yourself by saying, you know what, I'm turning my back on the past. I don't want that anymore for myself. I want something better for myself. I refuse to be hated on. I refuse to be not loved anymore. So you make a solid decision within yourself that that's what you're going to do. So what it is that God is also revealing in this hour is God is showing his remnant specifically for you remnant out there. And I'm sure you've noticed this. God is showing you how to go deeper into your family birthright. Now, going deeper into your family birthright, you are going to be dealing with people who are going to be on your team to help you build your empire. You're also going to be dealing with your family members. You're also going to be dealing with your relationship with God Almighty. But what God is showing and revealing right now is everyone who is on your team, not everyone has the same exact drive that you do to love God just as hard as you do. They want to, and they're trying to, but let's admit, you're a very unique diamond in the rough. So there are situations that are happening in your life right now. And those specific situations that are happening in your life right now is making you look at your whole life, and is making you look at the whole situation and be like, for many of you, you're like, dang, is something wrong with me? Like, what's going on now? Why am I going through this? And what's going on? And you're like, God, are you hearing me? Like, God, what is this? Like, explain to me what's going on here. And you don't feel like you're hearing God's voice. God is silent for a reason. He's silent because it has nothing to do with you. Don't ever take any of that personal. It has nothing to do with you. But what God is doing is, so many of you have allowed people to come around you, or others to come around you, or you're asking God to take you to another level. Where you're at, God's getting ready to take you to another level. But in order for him to take you to another level, the next level, he has to reveal to you things that are around you, that are hidden, that are unseen. And God is a God of order. So he's causing those things that you would not have been paying attention to, that you would have let slip over your head, that you would let slip over your mind. He's causing those things to be front row center stage right now in your life. So many of you are seeing it, and it's mind boggling. what you're having to deal with, especially with certain individuals in your life. Now, many of you are having situations where you're dealing with certain individuals and you're trying to really figure out, like, dang, is something going on? Am I being blocked? Is something wrong with me? No, it's that person that you let in your aura field or you let in your environment. What God is revealing to you is that they have not closed doors. And when they do not close doors, that causes havoc for the entire household, the entire bloodline, and the entire family. So you have to go back to the drawing board. You have to go back to the drawing board and you got to sit there for a minute. And instead of you pointing the finger at this person, this is what God wants you to do. God no longer wants his remnant to point the finger at people anymore and look at the pain that that person is taking you through. What God wants you to look at it now is the pain that that person is going through. God also wants you to know how to look back at yourself as you're looking at that person dealing with their pain. And God wants to remind you, there was once a time if that person did something to you or someone did to you the same thing or as such, you would have been devastated. Your mind would have been like, you would have been like probably somewhere, ran off and just got high or been on drugs or just been like in this, F it mode and been like, well, if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it too. It would have been like a tit for tat thing. But now so many of you have grown so much and God wants you to see that you're the healer in the situation. You're the God spirit in the situation. To whom much is given, much is required, and with great power comes great responsibility. Therefore, judge not, lest ye be judged. It's just like the prodigal son. With the prodigal son, yeah, he can run, just like Jonah and the whale. Yeah, he can run. But at the same time, when Jonah ran from his calling, when Jonah ran from his ministry, and many of you have people around you who are fearful of their ministry, who are afraid of their life. They're confused because this is all new territory to them. And you're so holier than thou, so spiritual than thou, that when these people are around you, they are not afraid of you, but they're afraid of the Spirit of God in you. And it's like them looking in a mirror. And when they look in a mirror, they're running from the Spirit of God in you. They're running from the things that are hidden within their heart that they have yet to address, that they have yet to heal, that they have yet to face. And of course, because you're the God spirit in the room, guess who's going to take the blame? Guess who's going to take the hit? So don't be surprised if that person takes off and start going to tell everybody else what you did to them. But truth be told, what's happening right now is God is allowing them to see, no, it wasn't that person. This is things that you've been doing to yourself all these years. Now, what God is allowing his remnant to do is not be in a place of judgment, but to be in a place of guidance. Be in a place of understanding that every single one of us are different. Every single one of us, we heal different, we respond different, we act different. But who are we to cast the first stone? The Bible says, he who is without sin casts the first stone. But misery loves company. And because misery loves company, what does this mean? The person that is hurting, of course, because they're hurting, they left doors open somewhere in their life, somewhere in the past, somewhere in the present, somewhere in their life. Some door has been left open to the point to where they have to close that door. But the inner struggle and the inner fight with themselves is closing that door. But they're afraid to close the door because they need to know that they can trust the new door that they're walking into. But you cannot allow anyone to walk towards any new doors with you unless you first make sure that that person is under clear understanding that the only reason that we're walking through this door in the first place and we're taking this route is because we know that God is at the other end of this tunnel. Other than that, we would not be going this route. Don't allow people to put so much hope in you, so much faith in you, because if they do, they gonna be like, you brought me here. You moved me here. Like, Moses, we finna die. And my thing was, I wasn't finna be telling nobody where to move. I told each and every one of y'all to make sure before you made any moves at all, before you just jumped up and moved and went somewhere, that you first sought God first. Don't make a move, boo, until you first seek God first. And make sure that those that are around you, you're instructing them the same. Therefore, their situation and their blood is not on your hand. Because right about now, it don't matter where you go. The entire world is in trouble. But I do know that God's people are not in trouble. I also know this without a shadow of a doubt in my heart, y'all. It don't matter where people are running to right now. For example, if y'all out there and many of y'all are in households or situations and you're by yourself or you're lonely, You're not lonely. You're not by yourself. God is with you. God is so with you. Man, God is so with you, babe. God is so with you. I can't even begin to stress how much God is so with you. God is so with you. And guess what? I don't care if you're a single mom. I don't care if you're a single dad. I don't care if you out there by yourself as a single person. People fear you. People are not going to touch you. People will try to conjure up schemes or themes to take you down. But baby, this is the hour where God is allowing all of those conjuring schemes to backfire on the people who thought that they can come against you. But this is what I want you to know. What's happening right now is people are on their own quest for identity. So many of us, we have to allow people to be on their own quest for identity, and allowing them to be on their own individual quest for identity, even if you're in a relationship, is understanding that that person has their own autonomy. They have their own autonomy. You have your own autonomy. You both have your collective autonomy together. The respect is going to come in when you both allow each other room to grow, when you both allow each other space. And I don't care if this is a loving romantic partnership. I don't care if this is a situation with your sister, your brother, your mama, your child. Every single person is not like you. You're individually and wonderfully, fearfully made. So to try to make someone be like you, to do exactly what you do, to do all of that, they have to want to do it on their own, one, and they already have to have that embedded in them too. And all you can do is mention it. When you mention it, also make sure that you're the example that you're speaking of. If you're teaching someone to eat holistic and to eat healthy, then you eat holistic and you eat healthy. If you're teaching someone to love themselves, then you got to love yourself. If you're teaching someone that, to be autonomous, are you autonomous? Are you the example of what you wish to see in this world? So right now, there's no pointing fingers at anyone, y'all. Everybody's on their own quest for identity. The only people who are pointing fingers at other people are people who are stuck in portals and chambers and mindsets of traumatic pain that they won't let go. And they feel like you did it to them. Why? Because you're the light that's shining bright within their eyes that woke them up. Anyone that has ever talked about me, ever wronged me, ridiculed me, have made videos about me, have lied to people on me, I truly realize that I'm the one who woke them up. I'm the most influential person in their life. I'm the light of their life that woke them up to the point that made them look at life in a whole nother perspective. And like I tell everyone, it's like in the Matrix. No one wants to be sound asleep in a tunnel, and then all of a sudden you walk in the tunnel with a flashlight and you open up their eyeballs or their eyelids with your fingers and shine the flashlight in. That's the traumatic experience that they feel when they're awakening. If you're going through something individually and you're trying to heal, especially if your friends are not spiritual, you go tell your friends everything that you're going through, your friends, they not going to respect whatever you say after that. They going to be like, oh, you want some such and such. Why? Because people are in a negative space and they don't see the other side of it. People don't know that situations are two-sided. So either way it go, because they know you, they're going to take your side, but it may not always be from a healthy perspective. So where we are right now is the best way, what I've been doing, if I had to deal with anything, even when I had to, go through my situation where God was like, look, okay, I know you love me, Nubian, but now it's time for me to share you. And I was like, God, what you mean? Like, what you mean I'm finna get married? God, we married. And I was arguing with God. I was like, God, what you mean? Like, because I was comfortable. Very comfortable. And then God is like, okay, Nubian, it's time. I got to take you to the next level. And this lid is about to pop off now. So now we got to move to the next level. So even in that space of me being very close to God, loving God with all of my heart, I had no clue that that's what it took in order for God to bring me in my kingdom spouse, bring me in my kingdom mate. But it was during a time that I was not looking. But what I do know now that I'm on this side of things is knowing that God has us all in an individual space for us all to be uniquely, individually spotlighted right now, where our own talents, our own skills, our own abilities are highlighted in the hour of the now. But you have to want change. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to be all that God has called you to be in this plane of existence. If not, you're going to be blaming others for what coulda, shoulda, woulda. You're going to be stuck in that same town because your mentality won't change, because your mouth won't change. It's mindset. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Now, what many of you are going to find as you are in many relationships, you're going to realize that a bunch of situations was going on, any type of trauma, whether it's within you or within the other person. But is it your job to point your finger at that person and be like, oh, I don't know about, I don't know about you, what's going on. But at the same time, too, you got to be careful of that. Because now you're placing yourself in a position to be God. God says, judge not, lest ye be judged. And if God brought you around that person as a light bearer, as a light beam to help, would you find yourself ever in a situation where you want to come to God and ask God for forgiveness, and God be like, look, no, I'm not going to forgive you this time because you keep doing it. And I'm tired of you doing it. So no, I'm not going to forgive you. If you truly come to God with a forgiving heart and a loving heart, and you really want to change, trust me, God is going to make a way. God is going to provide, but God knows your heart. That's what's happening right now. Even with God's remnant, I don't care. I don't think people really realize this, y'all, especially for you remnant out there. But I don't really think that people really know that when they talk to you, they're talking to God. I really don't think that they know that you know for a fact if they're lying to you. I don't think that they really know that you can see straight through their lie. I don't think they know that you can feel a lie. I don't think that they know that it vexes your spirit, that you know if they lying. It's like you know every single word T for T, and you just ask or you just listen because you just want to see what they're going to do with the information that you know. But what God is telling you with this talent that he has given you to be in an all-knowing space is God is telling you to be very observant, be very watchful, be very careful, because you don't know who's in your circle. That's the Judases of your camp. And if Yeshua had a Judas, you got a Judas too. None of us is, exempt from the Judas factor. But you are exempt from agreeing to participate in the Judas factor, which is why you got to know who you have in your circle, which is why you got to know if that person is not willing to close the doors to the past. Now you're in a verbal contract. You're in a physical contract. Are you going to agree to be trapped in the past with them if they're not letting the past go? And trust me when I say there's a whole ship and a whole train movement right now of nothing but light that is bridging the bridge and the gap for God's people. Y'all, we going straight into WAR. And trust me when I say that God has placed his people in a position to be able to thrive throughout these times. During the time of our ancestors, our last name was based off of whatever farm or plantation that we were on. Whether it was a Ford plantation, or it was the Kings, or whether it was something of, the Browns. You may have owned some brown rice or brown flour or the wheats, or the you know what I mean? So what we're in right now is a time where your autonomy is going to speak volume, but it's going to speak volume through family and birthright and bloodline. It has nothing to do with your friends. Your friends are going to play a big role, but remember, your friends are not going to see your talent and your skills and your abilities. Why? Because where God is taking you and where God has taken you and where God is about to take you, they cannot wrap it around their mind and accept within their heart that you come from the same hometown as them. But yet, you have become so popular. You have become so famous. You have become so wealthy. You have become so successful. You are God's elect. You are one of God's own. This is why people that are in your own circle, your own friends, your own family, your own loved ones won't accept you first. Total strangers will accept you first, because total strangers will see your talents. They will see your abilities. They will see your skills. Even Kanye West, before he became Kanye West, even your girl Nubian Divine, before I became Nubian Divine, got recognized overseas before anybody next door to me recognized me, before anybody in my hometown, before anybody in my family recognized me. And that's what's happened to so many of each and every one of you. But what's happening right now, y'all, is such a masterful masterpiece of transition, of change, of opportunity. But look, we getting down right now like our ancestors did. We are thriving right now like our ancestors did throughout the Great Depression. Trust me when I say that many people become wealthy throughout these times, but it starts off with the mindset. If you're still in poverty consciousness and you're still in a place where you're holding on to trauma, or holding on to, say you left a relationship and that person was, you paid for everything all the time, but they were always hiding their money. And now you're moving on to a whole new life, and you had that experience in the past. Now you want to treat your current situation the same way. What you're going to do is you're going to bring those energies from the past situation into the current situation, because you have not healed. You have not let that situation go. So what God is doing is, God is not allowing anyone to ride his remnant's coattail. What he is doing right now is, God has already put his remnant in a specific position to be able to thrive throughout the current pandemic, throughout the current transition of breakdown in the world. But God also has warned his remnant that there will be people that will try to come around you. There will be people that will want to come around you, and they will have every right intention and every right motive. But do not be surprised at all if your specific environment rejects them from the environment, because your environment is too anointed. Your environment is too holy. They're not running from you. They're running from the Spirit of God within you. So trust me when I say, if they're going to thrive and if they're going to survive, there's nothing that you can do about it. Only thing that you can do about it is pray for them and guide them, but give them other options and other opportunities besides just being with you, besides things just working out with you, and let them make the decision for themselves. But in the meantime, you don't get so caught up in wondering what someone else's quest for identity is, or someone else's path is, to where they blindside you from your own path, and now you're thrown off. Now you're not praying. Now you're not doing your work. Now you're not praising God because you're so focused on what another person is doing. God don't want that for his people right now. What God is doing is, if anybody try to come around you and they not right, trust me when I say, the land is going to rebuke them. Your environment is going to make them run from you. It's going to make them run from the Spirit of God within you, because they won't be protected. They won't be covered like you, because they came around you with ill will, ill motives, and you may not have known about it, and you may have put your whole heart into it, but God sees everything. The all-seeing eye truly does see everything. God knows all, therefore he will reveal the heart of the matter. And the way he revealed the heart of the matter is, there is a knowing, y'all, with our six senses. That was always our intuition first. That was always our smell, our taste, our sound, all that, our instincts, all that is online, on fire right now. So it don't matter who's around you, what their motive is. You just stay in love with God. You just stay in love with what it is that God has called you to do, and you focus on what it is that God has called you to do. Yes, you can help them and give a lending hand, but don't get so focused, because they can throw you off. They can stunt your growth. They can stop your game. They can block your money. And here it is, you won't know what's happening to you because this person has not been honest. So now you have to make a decision within yourself. Is this one what I want to be a part of? Is this one I want to move forward in? So God is revealing all things, not because he's trying to hurt, but because he's trying to help, but because he's trying to establish his kingdom on earth as it is in heaven. And God is God of order, and he's not going to allow any type of kingdom to be established with someone in the picture that's trying to be sneaky or shady and blaming you for everything, when they were always that way the whole entire time. God is truly revealing the heart of the matter right now. God is truly revealing people's true motives right now. God is truly showing you not only how not to be offended, but God is showing you how to be at peace, and how to know that if it's not that person, it's going to be somebody else. If it's not that job, it's going to be another job. If it's not that state, it's going to be another state. If it's not that specific talent or skill or business that you are to set up, oh, trust me, baby, sit still. Don't get ahead of God. Don't rush God. Just be chill and know that God got your back, and know without a shadow of a doubt, just like Yeshua said in the Bible, Yeshua was somewhere and his mother and his sister was close by. And the people, the crowd, they were mocking him. And they were like, your mama and your sister, they ain't even helping you out. They ain't even trying to say nothing to defend you. And Yeshua looked in, he said, my mama and my sister. He said, my mother and my sister are those who do the works of the Lord. They're there who keep the commandments of God Almighty. Those are my sisters. Those are my brothers. And I'm telling each and every one of you, that is your true family right now. Many of you may be like, well, my family this and my family that. That's because the God says you're too conformed of the world. Be ye not conformed to the world. Be in the world, but not of the world. And so many people are literally in a place of materialism, to where they will not let that material world go. But what it's doing, it's taking them down, y'all. It's taking them down to the point to where many people are going to miss being protected throughout this coming pandemic because they're going to be taking deals and schemes to hurt, harm, and injure others because of the greed of their own mindset and the greed of their own heart. And they're allowing the past to torment them because they're refusing to let the past go. They're refusing to close doors. They keep doors open, and then they're calling other people to tell them alternate situations, and you have no clue what's going on. You're thinking everything's smooth, and here it is. God is showing you everything, but you have to be neutral in the situation enough for God to reveal the heart of the matter to you, in order for God to show you how much you have healed, in order for God to put you at peace and say, man, this situation would have made me crazy back in the day. This situation would have tripped me out. Now God has placed his people in such a place of peace to where we know that it is not our will, Father, but it's thy will be done. And when you come from that perspective and you come from that platform, man, you be at such peace. It'd be like, okay, I don't care what happens, whatever happens next, I know God got me. I know I'm good. I know I'm protected. I know I'm safe. I don't fear nothing. Fear what? Matter of fact, the devil got a restraining order against me, by the way. With that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today. Whatever y'all need help-wise, know that your health is your wealth, and your girl, I am truly born for this, DNA coded for this. God has truly given me the tools to help each and every one of you thrive throughout these times. I got you. But most importantly, do you have yourself? And if you have yourself, self-investment is key. Believing in yourself is true keys to the kingdom of you, because God is within you. All right? I love you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. My website is in the description box below, and also the donation links for those of you who love the flow or just want to look for a place of tithing and looking for a ministry that is going to be responsible with your tithes and offerings as to what it is that you give back to God. God says, has a man robbed me? Will you rob me? And the Bible says, yes, you have robbed me in your tithes and offerings. So we are here to help each and every one of you to thrive throughout these times. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm tripping like, dang, like, man, the stuff that God has instilled within me, all of my talents, all of my skills, man, put me up against any psychologist, any doctor, any lawyer, any judge, any politician, any king, any empire. Yeah, and let's play chess. With that being said, I love y'all. I love yourself. Nubian Divine.